Hello and welcome back. It is Thrawn's Revenge here with another video. This time it is a MOC video, and this MOC is not mine. So, for those that are not aware of some well-known designers out there, one of the really good designers that I really look up to is Gols, who is a fantastic designer in LEGO. He has created one of the best AT-STs out there possible. But he also has some smaller models and some more unusual models. And one of the models that is really cool is the White Dwarf, or the YT-2020 Jet. You'll see the model right here. So my friend, who was a really big fan of Gols' model work, and specifically the YT-2020, he decided upon himself to try to recreate the YT-2020 in his own way and make it minifig scale. So you could basically call this a Corellian Starfighter. It has the similar shapes as a Millennium Falcon, with the, kind of circular section, a lot of the greebling textures and that kind of stuff. So it's very heavily influenced by Gols' White Dwarf, the Corellian vehicle that he designed, but this is a much smaller version in scale, right? So why am I talking about, someone else's work here that's in my house right now? Well, I actually helped my friend work on this a bit here and there to try to fix some of the issues that he was having, to try to figure out ways to get the landing gear to work, to try to figure out how to get a minifig in there to fit. A lot of challenges that, like, if you're not very used to LEGO systems, as I have been using it for so long, it can be really difficult to do it, especially when you're doing on a 3D program. So I think, first off, he knocked it out of the park with the rest of it. The greebling work is fantastic. The color decisions are great. It has that kind of run-down, old Corellian feel for sure. So as a model itself, I think it's absolutely beautiful. But we can look at some of the stuff that I helped on. So one of the first things you'll notice is the fact that it has landing gear. So let me turn off the rotating table right now. So there's a landing gear right there. And this landing gear is able to fold in and out. I will zoom out for you guys a little bit. So the way the landing gear works is these just fold in here, in there, and then this flap right here is able to fold up, and these fold in. And all of this just stows away. These are a little fragile, which is an issue on my part, because I didn't know that it would not enjoy that. So there's kind of that, right? So here's it in my hand, kind of like that. So that's kind of the main... So that's one part that I worked on, right? Another part is these vents right here. These were of my design. There was an issue of kind of like filling this gap here and getting a good look for the transition from this mandible section to the panels on the back for the engine systems. So this is what I ended up coming up with, is these vent systems that are kind of laid in there, and they're really flush. I was actually kind of shocked on how flush it really is. So that was really cool. I also worked on this front right here and the cockpit inside. So I'll show you how the cockpit works right here. So this whole section opens right there, and there's our minifig, who is bald. I am repurposing a rebel trooper with his helmet and backpack and blaster put away. So there's that guy right there. This is able to close here, but it's also able to open and close on the bottom. So if we flip this over, right, you'll see there's a lid here, and that's where the seat is. So if you wanted, you could take the guy out like so, right? I'm gonna just pop this guy out, put the chair back in, bam, done. You can also put the guy in from the top. That's how I originally put it, but I wanted to make sure that you could do it both from the top and the bottom. That was kind of my way of getting it to work out properly. A lot of the stuff that he ended up working on was like these mandibles were his design. A lot of these platings were his design. The biggest issue we actually ended up having, that he found out as he was building, because we ended up not making instructions for this, we had to take the actual 3D model and kind of hide pieces as he was working on it, and me helping him with any of the troubleshooting. And the biggest troubleshooting we had was the fact that this section right here was actually not attached. Normally I find those issues myself when I do my instructions. So we didn't catch that because we didn't go over the building process. And so I was able to catch it. I did manage to fix it fairly quickly. It was not a super difficult challenge, mostly because it was just redesigning kind of the shaping back here a little bit, and then adding this big gray panel that you'll see right there. That's what ended up kind of being the saving grace right there. There's also a lot of really cool detail on the inside, but you won't really be able to see it very well, solely because of the way this is built up. So I'll take this bit off so I can kind of show you it, because I think it's really cool. So there's kind of like some engine detail that he ended up adding in there to give it that extra oomph, you know, that real greebly look, which I think is really cool. Of course, the downside is I had to pop off this back piece to get access to it, but you know, it's worth it. It's knowing that it's there, right? I feel like that's part of the fun of it, is like, if I was to ever make instructions for it with his permission, it's cool that when you build it, there'd be something like that in there. So let me put this back together right quick. Hold on, I need to put the clip back. We're doing it live. We're doing it live, my friends. That's how I like to do these. Okay, so with that put together, so that's kind of all I have for this guy. It's really cool. He's super happy with it. I'm super happy with it. All around, I think it turned out fantastic. It definitely gets that kind of Corellian vibe. I will also be making my own Corellian Starfighter based off of E.C. Henry's work at some point. I'm still super behind on a bunch of my own models that I want to finish, so I'm slowly catching up as I finish commissions and can start getting back to what I want to do. So that's kind of all I got for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and as always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.